So I want to get right into the training. And with the training, last week we started talking about the invitation process. And so I was really thinking about what it takes to really build the business, because everybody always asks me, how did you do it? What did you do when you first got started? How did you get to this point? What do I have to do to get off to a fast start? How can I make sure I build my business? How can I make sure I go out there and help my people to make money? And so they always ask me these kinds of questions. And along the way, I was able to put together a very simple system. And so you've heard about it before, we've gone over it before, and you've kind of started to duplicate it or to put it into practice as you got started in the business. But now I want to help you understand the psychology behind the process of building this business so that we can go out there and take you to the next level. So we can go out there and build the income that you want to build, have the lifestyle you want to have, live the health that you want to live with the people you want to do it with most. So it really starts with understanding what does it take. And so when I first started this business and I really started to study it and I became a student of the business, I would ask questions that always started with or began with, how can I? And I realized that a lot of people start their questions with, what if this, or what if I can't do something? What if I can't say something? What if I? And that what if immediately from day one, that beginning of the sentence actually sets you up for failure. And so rather than saying what if, or rather than questioning what if, I always began my questions with how can I? Because how can I is an empowering perspective. So my thing was like, how can I duplicate my business? How can I grow my business? How can I grow my income? How can I grow my team? How can I grow the number of customers that are finding out about the products and using the products? And once I started to figure that out, everything else fell into place. And I realized there's simple steps, that the entire business was made up of 6 simple steps that allowed you to maximize. And once you got these 6 steps down, everything else became easy. It was almost like you didn't have to think too much, you didn't have to do too much. All you had to do was repeat the process over and over and over and over again. So in the process of duplication, here are the key 6 steps that's going to allow you to duplicate in your team, in your business, and take your business to the next level. And the first part, or the first aspect of it, is the market. The market meaning who you talk to, when you talk to them, how you're going to talk to them, and where are you going to be able to expand your business. And we all have market. We have market all day in and out. Last week when I started the invite training, I started talking about how to talk to different market, right? And how to set them up to expect a call from you, how to set them up to talk about the business, how to set them up to talk about the products. And I shared different examples of different stories of how I got started and who I got started with. And you heard me talk about Tita Faye and how she has been I guess a loyal customer for almost 15 years now, in trying all the products, and she buys products all the time because she loves what we represent. So now here we come along the way and we have established a market. And in that market, you're going to have market that are going to be specifically product centered. You're going to have market that are specifically opportunity centered. And then you're going to have market that are neither right now. But I want you to understand something about that. Neither right now doesn't mean neither forever. It doesn't mean no forever. It just means that there's a life cycle to the process that you're going to go through with them before they're ready to go out there and either make more money or go out there and experience a little bit more health or a little bit more lifestyle. And I'll give you an example. I was on my Facebook the other day, and I was kind of just browsing around while I was waiting for my car to be serviced. I hit a pothole and my rim exploded on the Lamborghini, and it was just a complete mess. But as I was there waiting for them to figure out what they had to do with it, I was browsing on Facebook and I happened across an old as a matter of fact, it wasn't really a friend. It was just a market, somebody that was an acquaintance of mine that I'd gone to elementary school with. And now I'm really dating myself, right? This is over 25 years ago. Okay. And actually like 23, 25 years ago, something like that. So anyways, I was rummaging through my Facebook, and he happened to pop up in my feed, and had said something along the lines of, I feel like all I've been doing is working all my life. I wish that there was a way where I can uh, work less, spend time for my family, and make more money. Something along the lines of that. So I saw that. I said, all right, let me message him and see what he's up to. Because, we talk about this all the time. And so I do all these trainings. And it's one thing when you do a training, but it's another thing entirely when you put it into practice and you put it into effect and you become the owner of the information. Okay, so I messaged him, started talking to him, and of course applied the whole forums thing. We started building rapport, asked about family, occupation, what he's been up to, recreation, money, and I knew already what to talk about because I saw his status. So he has 2 daughters and he doesn't have time to spend with them, and so on and so forth, right? So end all be all, he goes, yes, so what do you do? And I kept it real short to the point. I work in the health and nutrition marketing field, and I help people and train them how to make money. And he goes, well, it sounds like, I mean, that sounds really exciting. I mean, congratulations. And he starts going off on that. I said, yeah, I mean, we work hard so we could play hard. He goes, yeah, I played hard in the beginning, not realizing that, I'd end up working hard for all my life. And I say, hey, we're always looking for people. And so one thing led to another. And by the way, this was all on Facebook. Okay, so one thing led to another, but I turned somebody who's an acquaintance into a market. Okay, and if I had spoken to him 15, 20 years ago, he wasn't ready, right? But today, he is. And it maybe took 15 years, but sometimes you never know who you're going to talk to, who's in your market, and where they're going to want to position themselves. Am I making sense with that? So market is always going to be ever changing. It's always going to be different, and you're going to have all kinds of people that are going to come your way, and you're going to be able to talk to them about either products, opportunity, or maybe the setup for the product or opportunity later on. Okay, the invitation process, I'm going to go over that today. I'm going to give you a couple more invite tips, how I would invite somebody and what I would say. I would keep it short and simple, and I'll give you some examples of that. Presentation. If you want to be able to go out there and really, really build a business, learn how to do a presentation. One of the things that I really had to learn how to do was talk to people, especially early on when I first started this business. I wasn't very good at talking to people. I never would have imagined I'd be doing a presentation for somebody that's going to show them how to change their life, how to make more money, how to go out there and master a business. It wasn't in my repertoire. It wasn't my vocabulary, okay? But it happened to have come along the way, and so I learned how to do these things, and I learned how to do a presentation. And we actually have a very sophisticated educational system. It's like a curriculum that we're going to be launching for NuViza that will show you how to go out there and how to do a presentation. Then training, how to get somebody trained. So now you sit down with somebody, you share with them the opportunity, you share with them the plan, they get excited, they get started, and how do you get them trained? Okay, how do you get them trained so that they can go through the same process? Opening is an advanced topic. That's why I have it listed there. Okay, and so opening is something that you become very good at with practice. You sit down and you open people to the idea of doing business. You open people's mind to living a better way. And one of the most interesting things is another recent conversation that I had with somebody who didn't know too much about nutrition field or anything like that. But, they asked an honest question. And so I had to remember that they weren't very knowledgeable with the industry. So they go, so tell me about how this FDA approval works. Why isn't the product FDA approved? And I say, well, you have to remember and you learn how to answer their questions. And that's part of the opening process. Okay, opening means that you learn how to answer questions and you guide people along the way. So my response to them was real quick, real to the point. As a matter of fact, I got really excited because I said, one of the things that the FDA is there for is to make sure products are safe. And if a product can potentially be unsafe, then they have to regulate it. That's what the regulation is for, is to keep the population safe. Well, when you have a product line that doesn't need to be regulated, that means that there is no potential for harm to be done. As a matter of fact, our products are so safe and manufactured in such a sophisticated way that they're completely natural, no preservatives in there, no chemical binding agents, no chemical synthetics. And because they're manufactured that way and they're nutritionals, the FDA doesn't worry about regulating them. That's one of the reasons that we are able to market it in the way we market it. That's why we're becoming known as the instant company. And so I opened their mind to the potential behind the product line just because I was able to learn how to answer their questions properly. And you will learn that along the way. It's a simple process. It just takes a bit of practice. It takes a bit of application. As a matter of fact, I was sitting down in the PC with Elon the other day, and he goes, I hear the training, and I want to learn how to do this, and I want to learn how to do that, and I want to get good at this, I want to get good at that. And I said, well, here's the thing. I want to help you understand the difference between knowledge and information. And so we are all exposed to information all the time. And so what happens is we sit in on a training, for example, or we attend a training call, or we go to a basic training, right? We watch this, we see that, we hear this, we listen to that. And so we receive all this information. And what ends up happening is we have this pool of all this data, all these ideas, all this thinking, but it doesn't do anything for us until we turn it into knowledge. And here's what the difference between information and knowledge is. Information is the data. It's there. It's just sitting there. It becomes knowledge when we put that information into practice and we start using it, we start applying it, we start practicing it, we start making it our own. I call it owning the information. When you start practicing it, when you start applying it, that's when you go from, oh, I attended training and I received the information, to I attended training and I learned something today. And so you're going to see a lot of people that will come into your business who will go to a training, they'll get the information, but they won't be able to turn it into knowledge because they haven't been trained how to do that. They're used to going to school and getting a textbook and reading off of a textbook and cramming right before a test, turning that information into temporary memory or memorized information, and then trying to pass the test with it. And so that's why a lot of people, once they finish off their curriculum or the class, they don't really remember it. The process that you're going to go through here as you build the business, these 6 steps to duplication, the reason it allows you to duplicate the system and the information is because you're turning that information into knowledge. And you're going to turn that information into knowledge by practicing it. So you want to get better at opening, just make sure you're getting people asking you questions. You want to get better at presentation, go do presentations for anybody and everybody. I used to do presentations for even people outside of my team. I'll go into, for example, we used to really go crazy in Starbucks presentations. And when I first started off, there wasn't a lot. I didn't have a lot of people on my team. I had 2 people on my team. And so we didn't have a lot of one-on-ones that would come in or a lot of appointments that would come in. And I would be sitting there, and rather than sitting there trying to think about a presentation or trying to think about how I would do a presentation, I would volunteer to do other people's presentation. And because I did that, I was doing 10, 15 presentations a day sometimes, and I went nuts with it. And I got really, really good at being able to do a presentation. And it's that practice, it's that applied information that makes you knowledgeable. And that's how you turn knowledge into power. Okay, so last step in this process is simple. It's duplicate. And what does that mean? That means you repeat. You do it over and over and over and over and over again until it becomes second nature. As a matter of fact, some people, when I talk to them, they ask me certain questions, or we do certain things, or we go through certain motions, and it has become such a habit of mine to be in business mode or building mode or opening mode or invitation mode or marketing mode that I don't really think about it too much anymore. It's just become a part of a way of life. And so when I talk to people, they are always intrigued about what's going on because my language shows that duplicated process. It shows the information that has now become knowledge. Am I making sense with this so far? So what does it take to build it big? Doesn't take much at all. It's 6 basic steps, and you just do it over and over and over and over and over again, and you turn the application of these steps into knowledge, which becomes ultimately success and results. Okay, so I got really excited remembering that, because I know a lot of times it's very easy to get excited about the business, but once you take the concept of the entire system and you simplify it in this way, oh my God, it makes it so easy, because now you can literally measure your steps to the level of success that you wish to achieve. And you have all kinds of people, right? You have people that are hoping and looking to only make $500 or $1,000 a month, and then at the same time you have people who are looking to make $10,000 a month at a time. You have people who are looking to make $100,000 a month at a time. So every single person from one end of the spectrum can now have a measurement to that result, because it's just a matter of how many times do they go through this duplication process with the people that they're interacting and working with. You guys follow with that? Perfect. So moving on from there, let's get right into the invitation, because we've been talking about it, and I want to make sure that you get the idea of what the invitation is about, because we are always in the process of inviting people to find out more. What they're finding out about is up to you. Okay, so we've been doing this for a long time. Actually, we grew up doing this. When we were babies, we did this very, very well. When we were kids in school, we did this very, very well. When we were young adolescents learning to take on the world, we were doing this very well. When we were just starting to discover romance, we did this very well. We were extending invitations to people to either become friends, to become significant others, to become people that are special, to become people that are customers, to become people that are a part of our network for future opportunities. I mean, we've been doing this for so long that we've become very, very, very good at it. Okay? Now, the problem is we haven't been taught how to really monetize and turn a connection to opportunity, turn it into a chance to do more, do something amazing, or make it bigger, make it better. And so I'll give you an example. When I was just starting out and I had just started building the team here in New York a couple of years ago, I had just finished a meeting. I was on my way. At that time, I was taking the subway, right? And I was in Times Square. And as I was walking down Times Square, the stairs to the subway, out of the train that I was looking to take, I think it was the N train at the time, a young lady stepped out, and I was wearing this vivid bright blue shirt. So I definitely kind of stood out among the crowd because it was a hot blue shirt, right? And so as she stepped out, I looked up, she looked up, we made eye contact, she smiled, I smiled, and just as I was about to get on the train, I said, you know what, let me go talk to her, because she smiled at me. What the heck? Let's see what happens, right? I went up to her and said, hi, how are you doing? And you look familiar. Have we met before? She goes, no. I said, but you smiled at me. She goes, yeah, you smiled at me first. I said, that's true. Well, what are you up to right now? And this whole conversation that would normally put people in fear with their approach became very, very easy, because I was just extending an invitation. Here's how I did it. I say, what are you doing right now? She said, well, I'm supposed to be meeting somebody for dinner, but they just canceled on me, so I have no plans. I said, well, I'm on my way to get some food as well. Why don't we have dinner together? And she said, yes. Now, here's the thing. You don't know what they're going to say, right? You don't know whether they're going to say yes, they can say no, they can say I'm not hungry, whatever it is. But I extended the invitation. And if I extend the invitation, there's a 50-50 chance in what they're going to say, right? It's like either they're going to say yes or they're going to say no. Now, whether they say yes or no, it depends on how I come off, what kind of eye contact I was making, all these other things. But because when you extend the invitation, you get to control all of that. That means you could turn a 50-50 into an 80-20, into a 90-10 in your favor. Does that make sense? Now, I gave you a very simple, direct approach, and at that time that worked. And by the way, she came in, we sat down, we had dinner, and found out a little bit about her. She found out a little bit about me, asked me what I did, asked what she did. She was from Indonesia, living in Japan, traveling to the USA to explore and learn English, etc., etc., etc. Some of you guys know who I'm talking about, right? Her name is Yuli. And so after everything's said and done, we ended up actually going to the movies. So she wanted to continue the interaction, right? From the movies, she came and hung out with the team. And from there, she found out about what we did and wanted to find out more about the company and got started. Next thing you know, here we have business in Japan, we have customers in Indonesia, and we have people all over using the products just because she introduced them to the idea of the business. And that's how the opportunity can unfold. So the invitation is very, very, very powerful if you can make sure that you're really short, to the point. And the first key is be firm yet exclusive. Okay, so I want to make sure that I really harp on that, because a lot of times what I hear people doing is they go on, and they have what we call diarrhea from the mouth, right? Verbal diarrhea. And it's like they open their mouth and anything and everything comes out, and it's not attractive. It's like, can you imagine if I had gone up to her and I said, oh my God, I can't wait to tell you all about what I do, and you're going to love what I do, and you're going to love what we're going to do together, we're going to be freaking amazing, and da-da-da-da, and she's just gotten off the train, and all we've done so far is made eye contact and smiled at each other, right? She'd be kind of a little freaked out. She'd be nervous, or turned off. And so I learned that if you want to make sure that people understand your intention, be firm, be exclusive, and when you're exclusive, what that means is short, direct, and to the point. Okay? So once we get that down, the invitation becomes very, very easy. Second thing is be urgent. Time is money. Okay? Time is literally money. And here's why. Money, dollars, money in pesos, money in whatever currency is in your area, in your country, that comes and goes. You lose money, you can make it back. However, time itself is something you're never going to make back. At least as of now, we haven't discovered the technology to turn back time. Once we do, different story. You can waste as much of it as you want, but because that is something you can't afford to waste, you need to make sure that you're urgent in your approaches. You're urgent in the way you come off. You're urgent in your interaction, in your tonation, so that people understand, hey, there's a sense of urgency as you're interacting and talking to them. Okay? And so in my interaction, if I'm starting off an invitation call and I'm calling up a friend of mine, I'm going to make sure that I'm firm, I'm exclusive. I let them know, hey, this is an exclusive opportunity because I am talking to you. And if I'm talking to you, it's exclusive. I'm not talking to anybody else right now. I'm talking to you. That means that you and I are on the same page and we're exclusively talking about a big opportunity. Because who knows? You might be that one to take this business to the next level. You might be the one that you and I, as we interact, become a future leader of the business, a future leader of the company. So I need to make sure I'm firm and exclusive in that way. And some of you heard some of the approaches before, but I'm going to give you a quick example, okay? Because I think that as we get into it and you really learn how to master the invitation, it's going to become very, very easy for you to go out there and execute. Okay. Next point is put them on hold. I let them wait. I make them wait for me because I need to make sure that they're really, really serious. Okay. So first things first, I need to set them up properly. So I need to make sure that not only do they understand that it's exclusive, but they also are going to have to work for it a little bit, because if I'm going to work with them, I need to make sure that it's going to be a wise investment of my time, because remember, time is money. Okay, so a wise investment of my time, a wise investment for them too. I don't want to waste their time either. I appreciate everybody's time as well. So we're going to put them on hold and make them wait for a little bit as I do the invitation call, because that's part of the process that creates anticipation. And I'll show you how that happens when I do the actual invitation with you in a couple of minutes, okay? And the end all of the appointment is to lock down the actual appointment. And one of the reasons that I'm going to stress this is because I know, based on my interaction with the newer generations, okay? Now here's the thing. If you're under the age of 30 years old, okay, you're considered one of the newer generations. And here's what's going on with the newer generation. Because of technology, because of just the fast-paced information age that we're in, we are overwhelmed with so many things that end up making us forgetful. That's one thing. Second is we have more people today in today's world that are flaky than ever before. Today, most people don't have the ability to keep their word for some odd reason, okay? And that's just the way it is. Unfortunately, the truth is the truth, right? So I want to make sure that if I'm talking to somebody, I need to lock down the appointment. And you'll notice that integrity goes a long way when you say you're going to do something and you get it done. And so if you're talking to somebody in your friends circle, okay, or your acquaintance circle, or somebody you kind of know, you already kind of have a sense of what their reputation is like. Isn't that true? You know whether they're usually somebody that has integrity, or is it somebody that is reliable and dependable? Do they keep their word? You already have a sense of that. So if you're talking to somebody that you know for sure is kind of flaky, you need to extra lock down that appointment. If you're talking to somebody who says, hey, I'm going to do what I say I do, then it's a different story. But you will still need to lock down the appointment because you need to make sure that they don't forget. So the invitation process has these key points in it to help make sure that you are successful in the invite process. You guys follow with that so far? Okay, perfect. So how do we take the invitation and how do we execute it? Simple. A direct invitation would sound something like this. It has 4 basic steps. I'm sure you've seen this before. If you haven't, then make sure you get trained on it again and again and again until you get it down. But there are 4 basic parts of an invitation that makes it super, super solid. Okay, and remember, less equals more. Say less, get more. Be urgent. Be on point. And make sure that you have that sense of urgency. So greet. When you greet them, you sound like yourself, like you normally do, how you normally greet somebody. This is exactly the way you want to do it. Hey, how's it going? What's going on? How have you been? What are you up to? Real quick, direct to the point. You catch up for about 15, 20 seconds. And once they say, I'm not doing much, or I'm at work, or whatever it is, no matter what it is that they're doing, they say, perfect. You know what? I don't have too much time right now to talk. I just had a quick question. Okay? And so when you greet them, you're setting up the expectation that, hey, there's urgency. There's something important we need to talk about. And it's not going to take too much time. As a matter of fact, I don't have too much time. So we can't go into complete detail. I just need to pre-qualify you. And that's what the greeting portion of the invitation is about. Does that make sense so far? So once we have the greet down, they say, well, sure. Now here's the thing. If they say, well, I'm in the middle of hopping on the train and I'm about to lose service. Obviously, if you're in New York, that's going to happen every now and then. You're not going to sit there and try to get an invite out before they lose service on the train. It just doesn't work that way. Okay, so you say, oh, man, this is really, really urgent. When are you going to get out of the train? Because I don't want to call you when it's too late. I might not be able to call you if it's too late. And you stress that urgency. And whenever the time they give you, that's the time you want to write down to make sure that you give them a call back at that time. You say, perfect. So basically what you're saying is it's going to take you about 45 minutes to get to the other side. And once you get to the other side, you're going to have time, a couple minutes to talk. Okay. I might not have too much time to talk then either, but I'll definitely give you a call, okay? And you just hang up and give them a call at that time. If they say, well, I'm at work, same exact deal. Okay, I don't have too much time to talk since you're at work. Let me just be direct and to the point. Let me get straight to the point, and you can now begin to edify, which means to inform. Edify means to inform, okay? And when you're edifying or when you're implementing edification, you're informing your friend about something or someone else. Okay, so you're going to inform them. Well, are you looking to make some extra money? Or were you looking to make some extra money? Or if there's somebody that you know very, very well, you can cater or personalize the invitation to them specifically because they're your friends, so you know them all. You could say something like, hey, you remember the other day when we were talking about how you were tired of your job and you were looking for a way to spend more time with your family and get paid a little bit more money. Were you really serious about that? And they say yes. Now you can get right into edification. They'll say, well, I have some really good news for you. And as a matter of fact, I was just talking to my director, my manager, whoever it is that you're working with, and you make sure that your edification includes that information. Okay, he said, I was just talking to my director. As a matter of fact, we have a huge expansion project. We're always looking for a few key people that they're looking to work with that they can trust, that would like to have fun, make money, whatever it is. And you, again, cater this portion to your friend that you know specifically, okay? And you say, well, they mentioned that, and they asked me, and they told me if I have any friends that are looking to make some extra money, then to let them know. And so the first person I thought of was you, and that's where you have done the pre-qualification. Okay, so your greet process pre-qualifies them, your edification process pre-qualifies them, you're making sure that they're serious. Okay, and Charissa, I wouldn't say extra money selling a reliable, unique product line. That's too much information. And notice I haven't said anything about anything yet. I haven't said anything about the company. I haven't said anything about the product line. I haven't mentioned products, because here's what happens when you do that. The minute you mention product, unique, any type of whatever it is, all of a sudden you open up yourself to massive amounts of questions. And remember, you don't have a lot of time to spend on the phone. That's what you told them in the beginning. So you have to make sure you stay consistent with what you have told them. Okay? Once they say, well, what would I be doing? Well, now I can tell you, I don't know the exact details of how your position would work, but we work with health and nutrition products. We specialize in fitness products and weight management products, and as a matter of fact, all kinds of crazy things. We don't have too much time to go into it right now, but if you were looking to make more money, if you really were serious about having more free time to spend with your family and getting paid more, I might be able to connect you with my director, and they might be able to share more details. So were you serious? And I will go right back into pre-qualifying, because I need to make sure they understand, hey, I don't have a lot of time. I'm giving you the information. If you're interested, then I can hook you up. If you're not, it's cool. I can call somebody else. So when you come from that perspective and you're exclusive, first things first, you take them seriously, because now you're appreciating their time and you're not what do you call, beating around the bush. Okay? First, do they need to make more money, or do they want to make more money? If the answer is yes to that, then we go on. If not, there's no need to waste your time on the phone. Hang up and you call somebody else. And that's how you go through the qualification process. Okay, now sometimes you get them to say, well, I would like to know more. Like, perfect. Well, like I said, they're looking for people that they can work with that would want to make some more money, work part-time or full-time. I mentioned a couple of things about you to my director, and they said I can introduce you. So I don't have too much time to go into detail right now, but why don't you give me your schedule, and I'll see if I can make something work, if I can set something up for you. And now you can go into the qualification process. Okay, hey, but you're really sure you're looking to make more money, right? You're serious, right? Because I'm on good terms with my director right now, and I don't want to waste their time. I don't want to waste your time either, and it's going to take some time out of my day too. So I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. And again, you're pre-qualifying and you're making sure that they're serious. Does that make sense so far? Okay, once you get that part of the process done, the final part is to lock down that appointment. Now here's what I do at this point. After I qualify them, I like to talk to the director. So I'll say, hey, you know what? Let me call Mr. So-and-so or Miss So-and-so and ask them for this schedule, and I'll see if I can squeeze you in before everybody else that they're going to meet with, because they're a really, really busy person, and because you're my friend, I might be able to get you in at a sooner appointment. So wait by the phone. It's about, and I'll look at the time, and I'll say it's about 9:57 right now. I'll give you a call back in exactly 10 minutes, if not sooner, okay? But it shouldn't take me more than 10 minutes, so make sure you're by your phone, okay? And I will say that to them because I need to make sure that they watch the time, they clock watch. And I'll hang up the phone, I'll call my director, I'll call my sponsor or the person that I'm setting up the appointment with, get their schedule, what time is good to set this person up with an appointment, and I always usually call back on the 7th minute. So if it's 9:57 right now, I will call back at 10:04, and I will say, hey, you know what? I have great news. I just talked to Mr. Rodas. As a matter of fact, he's going to be available for a really quick appointment tomorrow at 2, or he might be able to squeeze you into his schedule at 6 p.m., which is better for you. At 2 p.m. or 6 p.m. And I always give a choice of 2 times, one in the early afternoon, morning, one in the late afternoon, evening, so that they have an open schedule to be able to choose from, and I lock down the appointment. Okay, so make sure you come dressed business professional, bring your IDs with you, here's the address, and I would lock them down. Hey, let's meet up 15 minutes beforehand, we'll catch up, I'll introduce you myself, and I'll give you some tips so that you can make a good first impression. So that's how I lock down my prospect for a presentation, so that they can make sure they understand where we're looking to go and how we're going to do this. Can we ask if they're serious with cold market? Depends. If you've built relationship with the cold market, if you've turned them into a semi-warm market, then yes. But if not, then no. It's cold market. You need to be even more exclusive, just by saying, hey, we have a lot of people calling, and as a matter of fact, we're getting really, really booked up. We don't have many openings left, so let me get your schedule to see where I can squeeze you into, what opening I can fit you into. And so because we have so many presentations coming on every single day, it becomes easy to create that exclusivity. Okay, so with that said, I just realized we're actually out of time. It's 10 p.m. on my phone, and hopefully this helps you guys out a little bit and gets you understanding of the process to be able to go out there and make the invitation happen. There are a couple of other different invite approaches that you can use. There's an indirect invitation, and that one, unfortunately, we don't have too much time to go into, but you can actually watch this invite training video. Okay, this will be uploaded so that you will have access to it, and you can read the indirect invitation approach here. You can pause the video and read it right off of the slide that I'm sharing with you right now. And there's one more, the indirect who do you know approach, and you can do the same exact thing here. So once this video is uploaded, which will be in about an hour or two once it finishes processing, you'll have access to it on our NuViza training website, and you can listen to it over and over and over again and get better at the invitation process. So again, with that said, my time's up. Thanks for yours. Let's go out there. Let's rock it this week. Let's make this upcoming Sunday event an explosive, explosive, explosive event. Remember, make sure you get your people there, because we have a very, very special announcement happening regarding our new educational system for NuViza, as well as our upcoming event after Sunday. So see you guys there. Bye-bye.